Deep one here, but I'm curious to see the responses. Story 1. My biggest regret. Not getting corrective surgery for lazy eye sooner. It's sad because it taught me how important appearance is. Most people already kind of know this, but they don't know to what extent it matters. Having strabismus throughout my entire adolescence taught me it matters to the opposite gender, it matters to your coworkers and superiors, and it matters to everyone you meet. It changes the way they treat you, the opportunities you are given, and the entire trajectory of your life. The change in behavior toward me that I've seen ever since I got this surgery has been massive. It is definitely a good thing, but deep down it makes me sad. Sad how much it matters, and it makes humans seem less human and more like predictable computers. It makes me feel empty inside, but at least my family has always treated me the same. Story 2. I just graduated from college, having never made any close friends or having been in a relationship. I feel like I've missed the boat as far as developing social skills, and I am worried that I will be isolated for the rest of my life as a result. Story 3. Probably wasting my life on a toxic, unfaithful woman, or just not taking control of my life sooner since I had strict, religious parents who were clueless. Story 4. Dating a beautiful, caring, and kind woman. The new relationship had moved fast, with a few reservations but no real problems. I broke up with her because my 4-year, on-again, off-again situation burst back into my life with declarations of love and promises of commitment. Predictably, we broke up again soon after. Story 5. Being more assertive and setting healthy boundaries rather than trying to love and care for my wife at the time more when I knew she was cheating on me 2 different times in the past 4 years. Not sure if doing that early on would have saved my marriage, but I know I would be in a far healthier mindset than where I am right now as I have been going through therapy for the past 10 months. Story 6. Letting the thoughts of others dictate who I try to be and hiding from myself all this time. I have gone through dramatic changes recently. It's like an entirely new world is cracking the door open for me, while an old stagnant one begs me to stay. I am only now rediscovering myself in my late 20s, and my only regret in life is that I forgot about that little boy I remember being so long ago. I'm disappointed but proud at the same time. Better late than never, but really, it's never actually late as long as it happens. Story 7. I should have realized my father wasn't really much of a father or role model much sooner and stopped trying to make him proud of me or impress him. So much wasted energy and time. It took my son being born for it to finally click that's not how you're supposed to treat your children because I could never ever do any of that to my boy. Story 8. So far, I'd say not getting with more women and going out on fun dates to explore how enjoyable it is to interact with them and how adorable they are. I did put myself out there, but after receiving repeated negative feedback, I shut down and started keeping to myself instead. I've been slowly improving on it. Story 9. Wow, original poster. A sad thread here, but it's good to allow people to get things off their chest in a supportive environment. For me, it's probably being inconsiderate to women in my first year of university. Nothing horrible, just sleeping around with zero empathy for girls who were obviously hurt by my actions. I've never had a girlfriend, and it stings to know that the opportunities were right there, but I was too dumb to realize. Story 10. None. I have been in jail and psychiatric wards, made over $70,000 a year and less than $20,000, lived in a car, lived in houses and apartments, found love and lost it numerous times, only caught chlamydia once, suffered lacerations, was on top of the world, then swept off the mountain. Made and lost friends, went here and went there. I regret nothing. It is the human experience. Story 11. Selling 1 full Bitcoin twice in my life. I was a cryptocurrency novice back in 2017 to 2019. I have 2% of a Bitcoin now, but I am aiming to get a full Bitcoin and keep it. My next regret is drinking excessively from the ages of 17 to 24. I was an alcoholic. I missed out on a lot, but I've been sober for 8 years now, and I'm stronger than I've ever been. Story 12. Divorcing while my kids were 2 under 2. I got distracted by some other young childless woman and left my wife. In reality, I was just running away from my responsibilities and the hardship of having 2 little ones. I told my ex-wife she had changed and that's why I was leaving, But really all that changed was she was so exhausted that she wasn't catering to me like I was used to. Now, 10 years later, I realize I lost a real one and treated her poorly. She didn't deserve that. Story 13:1. Being too picky or selective in college with women. I should have been more open to things and more easygoing and carefree with them. There's no better time to grow and learn. Letting that one girl get away because of long distance and some personal struggles and demons that I ultimately chose to battle on my own and not drag her down with me at the time. That relationship still stings every now and then with what ifs. I haven't really met anyone else as amazing and compatible as her. I don't know what she's doing or how she's doing nowadays, and I have no interest in finding out, but I do wish her the best. Timing just didn't work out, I guess. I've made my peace with both a long time ago, but I won't deny that unconsciously the thoughts come up sometimes, but I handle them much better now. Story 14. Buddy, where do I start? I regret not figuring out how to stop being socially awkward and just putting myself out there to talk to women when society was not as tense as it is now. My social anxiety definitely got worse over time. Not going to two-dimensional animation school when I was younger and my passion for it was a lot higher. Not moving out of my parents' place, 33 years old and counting. Ugh. Not spending more time with family, relatives, and loved ones, especially with those who have left within the last decade. Not figuring out my life and sort of drifting from one unstable job to another. The things I don't regret: becoming a Christian, changing my attitude on my life. Almost everything on this list is 50-50. It has taken me a while to think the glass is half full instead of half empty. Story 15. Not committing to what I want. I was so insecure for so long and I was so worried about doing the right thing, and I passed on many opportunities to do what I actually wanted. I dated people for far too long because I didn't want to end breakups, the same with friendships that lasted too long. I didn't take chances asking for opportunities in jobs or in school that I wish I had because I was afraid of rejection. Ultimately, I was more comfortable knowing the reason I failed was that I didn't try because then I could tell myself if I only tried it would have succeeded. At the time, that was a better alternative to trying and still failing regardless. It gave a twisted sense of control. I wasted most of high school and college acting that way, and now, as an adult, I've had to do a lot of course correction. Take the chances. Make the risky choice for what you want. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It's 100% worth it. Story 16. Breaking up with my first ex. She lost her virginity to me. She was crazy, and I mean crazy, but she mellowed out tremendously since then. We dated for 4.5 years, and the last straw for me was when she gave me an absolutely, completely unwarranted slap when she was drunk 7 years ago at a college party. Since that happened, she profusely apologized to tears, but I couldn't get over it and broke up with her. Now that we are older, we met up about 2 years ago, and she begged me to get back together with her after 4 years of me breaking up with her. And even though I genuinely love her and wanted to say yes, something told me not to. 38 bodies later, I have nothing to show for it. Now she has a second boyfriend and they are probably going to get married. We both had the exact same morals. Anyways, current day, my grandfather passed a few months ago, and she was the first person to say something to me, but she had her current boyfriend, and seeing how she is now just kills me inside. I see how terrible most modern women are today, and she was the needle in a haystack that was young and made a mistake. Sorry for the long story. Story 17. Probably gambling away 500,000 United States dollars. But it taught me a lesson, and I learned from my mistakes and now know how to get there again. I'm more than halfway there now. Story 18. I will be 29 soon, but I hung out with mentally unstable people from the ages of 22 to 27, and it messed me up. I lost my sense of self, and now I have only about 2 close friends. I used to have about 15 close people, but because I associated with a few unwise individuals, I lost those friendships quickly. I regret that now because I miss being an extrovert. Now I barely have any energy and crave connection. Story 19, very specific to me, but moving away from my first job. I wanted to start work with a big firm. It was a good idea in theory, but I'm not great at making proper friends, so I ended up moving back to my hometown after 5 years. It was 5 years of not doing anything after work, and I delayed getting on the property ladder at a time when house prices skyrocketed. Jobs in the area seem to be limited, so I always end up commuting. Story 20. I was once very, very drunk and said some really, really horrible things to my dad on the phone that I didn't mean. I haven't drunk alcohol since November 16th, 2018. Story 21. I picked the wrong woman. Two women claimed to be in love with me at the time. I picked the mother of my child. As it turns out, she wanted to use me for a year to get her feet under herself and then disappear. The other woman, I know in my heart, actually loved me. I have never found another like her, and I pray that she found better, and as low a bar as it is, I have faith that she did. Story 22. Not putting myself out there more in college. I missed out on many opportunities to join some interesting clubs and meet new people. My own introversion kept me from really having anyone from college that I can say is my friend now. I would always see guys who I thought were my friends out at a party or meeting up on campus through social media, and I knew because I enjoyed my alone time a bit too much that I missed out on a lot of fun times, especially after my freshman year. Story 23. I should have gotten divorced before I had kids. This sounds terrible, but my ex and I tried for 6 years to have kids before we finally did during the COVID-19 pandemic. Things were tough in the last couple of years leading up to the birth of our first child. Things only got more strained when we realized we were pregnant with the second. Fast forward, we are divorced with 2 kids that I don't get to see nearly as often as I'd like. I regret not divorcing sooner. Story 24. Messed up at Maya levels. Failed. Was parent and peer pressured into studying something I was not into, made the wrong career choice in hindsight. 8 years later, I cannot even sleep at night. It will haunt me for the rest of my life. Story 25. Marrying my ex-wife. A lot about that choice made marrying my beautiful fiancée so complicated. And she deserves my hand in marriage way more than I can give, and it bothers me. Story 26. I have 3 options I can't choose from. Buying property in an outer suburb. With a commute so long from the city, and there being absolutely no social scene or activities out here, I'm utterly lonely and it's a mistake. Sure, I own property, but I'm not sure it's worth it. And I could have bought an apartment near the city instead. Wasting 6 years of my life playing Overwatch with all my non-work time. I could have been doing something productive, learning something, furthering my career or whatever. I have nothing to show for that time. Similarly, the 10 to 15 years I invested in cycling, particularly the early period where I was so hyper-focused on it. I traveled all around the country, won national championships and series in the process, but completely neglected chasing interactions and relationships. With events basically drying up, I feel like it's left me with no lasting connections after all that time and energy I invested. Story 27. I don't have any real regrets in life, as I am near the end of mine. Even the bad things were learning experiences. Everything led to where I am and who I have in my life, and I wouldn't change a single thing that's taken place over all these decades. Life's too short to dwell on having regrets. Story 28. Shy stalking, decide, flowery, consist, recognize, bedroom, terrific, start, offbeat. Story 29. Not apologizing to my first love sooner. I am now 23 years old, single, and haven't talked to her in years. We knew each other since elementary school and broke up way back in 2019 after being together for years. I thought by now I would be over her, but my heart still yearns for her. Story 30. Not picking up the phone at 12:30 in the morning when my mom had called. I saw it and ignored it. She had left a voicemail basically saying, "I love you, we should talk more," etc. She sounded a bit drunk, to be honest. She was always terrible with technology, so when she ended her message, she put her phone down instead of hanging up. The recording picked up her crying to herself and her boyfriend at the time in the background asking what was wrong. Then the recording ended. She had a heart attack the following morning. They revived her, but not fast enough, so she was essentially brain dead. We were told she would never recover, and if we didn't take her off life support, she'd essentially be a vegetable until she died from the normal things palliative patients die from, like pneumonia from being on a breathing machine too long, atrophy. I regret not picking up that phone. I regret not telling her I love her. It will and has haunted me for the rest of my days. Story 31. A lot of my regrets got me to where I am now, so I don't really hold on to them. But one I wish I had is not making an effort to keep good people in my life and how I never truly appreciated the efforts they made to maintain those friendships. Thankfully, I have and will continue to have the chance to renew them. Story 32. Biggest regret: cheating on my wife. I am an addict and have used alcohol and sex to numb my insecurities stemming from childhood trauma and the subsequent emotional addiction. No matter my affliction, I know cheating on my wife is the biggest regret of my life. We are working on reconciliation, but life would have been so different and amazing if I had gotten help before I met her or after, before I ruined my life. Story 33. 25 years old. My biggest regret so far is dating a girl for 3 years when I should have only dated her for 1. There was a lot of manipulation, lying, and disrespect that I put up with. Since then, I haven't dated with intention and have just focused on myself. 3 years later, I'm in Florida and considering moving to Dallas to get out of this small town, explore, get a new job in a big city, and hopefully meet the girl of my dreams who will also respect me and treat me right.